All right, we are live. Welcome, Derek. I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about this big announcement, your move to eXp. How's it going?
I'm doing awesome, man. Couldn't be more excited for me and my team here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember about 3.5 years ago when I joined. Wow, just how excited I was just for the opportunity and the excitement for myself and my team coming over. So let's get started and just chat a little bit about kind of your real estate history. Like what previous companies have you been at? What kind of numbers have you put up?
Well, so I've been in business since 2004, so 16 years, almost exactly today. So excited about that. I started with a very traditional brokerage first in Cincinnati, Ohio, spent a few years there, started building a sales team. Then Keller Williams came to Cincinnati in like 2006. They recruited me because they saw that I had a growing team and they knew that a traditional brokerage really wasn't set up for teams. So they recruited us over there. So we started with about 3 of us and grew to about 7. And I spent 5 years at my first stint at Keller Williams, and then Remax recruited me to open up my own Remax office. And I went through about a year's worth of vetting for them to decide to award me a franchise, which I declined. Decided to go to a different Remax broker who was already established and try it out first, like a try before you buy. So after a few years with Remax, there was a lot of good things about Remax, but it wasn't exactly a long-term fit for me. I wanted to build wealth more than just getting a great commission split. I really wanted to build wealth. So then Keller Williams came back in the picture and said, "Hey, this time we'd love to have you back, but we'd love for you to be a franchise owner with another couple partners here in Cincinnati." So I actually was an investor in a Keller Williams office for the last 4 years, and I wasn't really looking to make a move. And one of my great friends, Jeff Lewis, who's an eXp agent here, had kind of filled me in on some of the wealth building opportunities and how I could build a team, not just locally. And we can go through all that, but that was kind of the catalyst for me. And when I saw, it's like when you see something, you can't unsee it. So that's all I could think about for the next 30 days until we had a pretty big team. So trying to transition listings and team members over and being an investor at another brokerage, there was a lot of moving parts. But I said, I can't not do this. This is just too great of an opportunity.
Yeah, and we're so excited to have you. I'm so glad that Jeff reached out because, if we look at Cincinnati as a market, eXp is there, but we're looking to grow, and you're just going to be such a great anchor team to have there in Cincinnati to just blow this model up there and help agents out. So it's exciting. So Jeff reached out to you. Prior to Jeff reaching out, I mean, had you heard of eXp, or was it kind of a new concept when he reached out?
So it's been around here for about 3 or 4 years, I guess. And honestly, I'd probably made fun of it a little bit beforehand because I didn't understand it. You know how a lot of things, there's that cycle of, you kind of make fun of something or you poo-poo it, and then it becomes a reality. Then you have to actually, deal with it, and then you can either deny it then or. So I was kind of at that stage where I was still learning more about it. And so I didn't really take it seriously. My team was growing in sales, and we were enjoying a great deal. We're doing over 100 transactions a year as a team. I've done up to almost 200 in 1 year. And so in our market, we're a little bit over the average sale price. So we do a little bit higher end real estate too. So, I did like 30 million the year before and the year before and the year before. So we're consistently chugging around 30 to $40 million. So I didn't really need it for, to grow my business in terms of like needing another tool in my toolbox. I already had that. It was, how do I take what I'm doing for the last 16 years and then start scaling it? And that's really when Jeff showed me kind of the 3 pillars of the real estate business with eXp, that I would still keep a great commission split, but with a lower cap. And I could do the stock options, which I don't have stock anywhere because I have all real estate investments. Completely took all my money out of the stock market years ago, and I'm 5 rental properties, and I do luxury Airbnb properties, and they're kind of on the higher end side. So all my money goes into that investment wise. But then on this third column of revenue share, like I've been a profit share earner at Keller Williams since 2006. I have about 20 agents in my downline. And actually, I screenshotted my last check today before because it was from last month when I was still with my former brokerage. My amount of profit share was $5.55. So not exactly something to get real excited about. It could buy me a cup of coffee at Starbucks. That's
I was thinking like a $5 foot long at Subway or something.
tax, right? Yeah.
Not life changing for sure.
No.
So that's cool. It's kind of, when I first heard about eXp, it was literally probably a month or two before I made the switch. The first time I had ever heard of it, because when I joined, we only had 2,400 agents. Now we have over 29,000 just 3.5 years later. Fastest growing real estate brokerage in the history of real estate, to my knowledge. And it was funny. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine, and he's like, "Have you heard this thing eXp?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I kind of saw it around. I don't really know anything about it. Sounds like it's cloud-based, like whatever." Like it was like a 1-minute conversation. Then when my sponsor that kind of shared the model, with me, the video that if you guys are watching this and want more info, and you're friends with Derek or myself, reach out to us because we got a powerful video we could share with you. I mean, I couldn't sleep the night when I saw it. But so about a month or two later, when my sponsor shared it with me, I was blown away. Like I had no idea that this existed, which is crazy because, we were founded in 2009, and that was at the end of 2016 when I finally really saw what it was. And I was just super excited, like to expand kind of like what you're talking about. So you talked about the opportunity to earn stock with the company. You talked about the idea where you could scale what you've already done, doing 38 million a year consistently. Like what are some of your goals? Like if you have them, I know you're just in the process of getting transitioned over, getting, the signs in the yards. I'm already seeing them on Facebook at your listings. You said you got eight or so listings, just now up and running. And so like what are some of your big goals? Like how big do you see your team here at eXp being one day?
Well, I'd like to see the blue and gold all over Cincinnati. First of all, I think that'd be pretty cool because the stronger brand I can put out there, we have a high quality brand here and we have a high touch brand. So we do appreciate the technology side of it, but I also want this high touch side of being a luxury brand, concierge type services for our luxury clients, and then kind of in the mid as well. But I'd like to see scaling it. So I've written a couple books. And one of them is a real estate book and hit the bestseller list the first week it was on the real estate category of Amazon. So I get contacted by agents all over the country that want to either do coaching or they just want to say hi, or hey, can you share with me a script that you use for this? So for me, if I was going to take the old expansion model at KW or Remax and try to insert an agent into any cities, it's a huge labor. I mean, I've looked into how that expansion model works and partnering up with different franchise owners at all those franchises. Logistically, I don't feel like I would want to spend the kind of time to make that happen. With eXp, I felt like, wow, when the light bulb went out for me, one of the ideas was, wow, I could expand my national and international reach to any agent in the world with just a sponsorship. And then I put them hopefully into a local group that can support them in a physical way, that they get the virtual support from the eXp people, but then maybe there's some local real estate agents that we kind of come alongside them and help them in a local arena as well. So expansion for me, both locally as a team and then nationally. My goal, though, that you asked is I want to have 40 agents in my first level downline within the first 24 months.
Yeah, that's awesome. So going from, a localized team, just selling houses there in Cincinnati, to having a team of 40 agents, possibly multi-states. And just because I'm familiar with the model. I mean, when I had 22 that I had personally enrolled into the company, that turned into 524 agents at the end of 18 months. So I went from just being similar size as you in terms of production and team size when I came to eXp, to going from that to just 18 months, having an organization in over 20 states, 524 agents. That's powerful. And I don't know any other platform where you can do that. So
I agree.
Cool. Awesome. I love it. So what would you say to an agent who has heard of eXp, kind of like you had heard of it and you kind of thought, oh, whatever, I'm not going to take a serious look at it. what would you say to somebody that might be watching this and for the first time might be hearing about eXp or might, based on what you're about to say, take an actual look at eXp? Like what did you see that really changed your mind? Like what could you say? What could you say to speak to that?
So here's the thing: is I write about this in my book too. But you have to have an end game, right? So for me, I've been doing this 16 years. I can see, and I know real estate agents have been doing this for 30 and 40 years that have never developed an end game. Like, what's at the end of the day, what am I going to be doing? Am I going to be selling real estate? So I put the last sign in the yard at 70, 80, 90, 100, and I fall over dead from a heart attack, and that's my business? Or is there some kind of an exit strategy, gradually, slowly, suddenly out of the business at some point? To me, I kind of look at this kind of curve. You have, my number of sales I can physically do. Then you've got my team sales that are going to kind of balance off that. But then you have this third area, which is that revenue share with a larger team, kind of a virtual team. So for me, I'd like to physically retire from selling real estate, like in a door-to-door kind of, selling of real estate. Like now I still want to probably do it forever because I love doing it. Friends, family, a couple referral deals. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily want to make like 40, 50 sales a year personally, right? My team, I would love for them to sell 100 to 200. And then I have this virtual team selling thousands, maybe homes. So my end game is more about, I have 5 kids. I have charities I want to support. I believe in helping widows and orphans, and I'm passionate about giving back in a lot of different ways in my life. I only like to use the word give back, but giving, period, right? And serving people. If I'm always worried about where my next paycheck's coming from and how I'm physically doing that, then I don't have this end game in mind. So my end game is build enough residual streams of income, which I've written books, I've got a podcast, I've got my real estate sales team, and I've got rental properties. So I've got multiple streams of income. And for me, it's like that's my end game now, is I can keep moving the eXp business in that direction, where it's less and less about me physically doing the work every day of selling homes and more about empowering other people, teaching them how to do this, coaching them, and helping them build their businesses. That's my kind of end game. So I'm going to reverse engineer that to what decision did I have to make last week, which was a really hard one for me. Leave something that I knew and I loved the people there, because I didn't see an end game that was strong enough for me.
Yeah, I love that. That's powerful. It's like, we all get into real estate for a reason, and typically the reason is not just to sell houses. Most people, when they're, in 6th grade and they're asked what they want to be for life, they're not like, oh, I want to be a real estate agent. We all have these hopes and aspirations to do other things. You mentioned, serving widows and orphans, at a much greater capacity than you are now, and just, giving at a much greater capacity than you are now, and spending more time with your 5 kids and wife. And it's like, when you don't have a plan in place that doesn't require you to trade more of your time for dollars, so always trading, hours for dollars, you can never, pursue those passions of yours, pursue spending more time with your family, because you got to just be in this constant hamster wheel of selling houses to maintain, your income. And it's so cool that we're able to, at eXp, kind of all partner together, help build the company while selling houses at a high level, and be rewarded for not only just selling houses, but also building a company. And that's pretty cool. I think that's, a big revolutionary idea in the real estate industry to, come together like we all are at eXp to just grow something really special. And the proof's in the numbers. I mean, to go from 2,400 agents in 3.5 years to 29,000, it's incredible. So any parting words that you want to share, and we'll wrap this up?
Yeah, so real quick, I'd say the other thing too is I am an entrepreneur first, right, guys? So I appreciate being a real estate agent, but ultimately I'm a business owner. I own multiple businesses. I looked at this as a business opportunity that I hadn't seen before. I've been presented the opportunity to own 2 different franchises of 2 different large national company. So I've seen the numbers. I've seen how to run a business. This isn't just Derek's an agent, I'm going to throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. I am a business owner. I have the business owner mentality, which I strongly encourage you to have. When you do that, if you're contemplating making a move, just take it as a sign of faith that another entrepreneur out there who knows how to run P&Ls, who knows how to look at residuals, who knows how to look at profit and loss equations and startup costs, and how long is a return on investment going to take to recoup, and cash over cash. I do those numbers. I'm a spreadsheet geek. I understand this stuff. And I took the leap from one thing that was very secure and, I had some good status with in terms of, notoriety or whatever, and left all that behind to do this because I felt like in the long term it was a better move. So I'm just going to leave you with that, is just trust other business people that have taken the time to really do the math. I have no vested interest in being on this call in terms of like selling anybody anything. This is just me sharing my heart. I feel like this is going to help a lot of people, and I would love for it to help you too.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm glad you brought that point up. I mean, I think our second conversation ever, me and you were on a Zoom looking at your P&L and talking about, where could the money be better spent? How do we reduce expenses? And just talking, high level business conversation. And I love that about you. That's so cool. I thought the same thing. It's like there's people who are much more successful than I am, just operating at just that next level. And when you see that happening, you just got to take a closer look. And if you take a closer look, sometimes you're pleasantly surprised. And with this opportunity, you were, and so was I. So
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm excited to have you here as a partner at eXp. Can't wait to just continue to grow Cincinnati. I already committed to you this summer. I'll be driving there to help you build and do some presentations and some lunch and learns and just to help grow some businesses. So can't wait to see you this summer in Cincinnati, man.
That sounds good. And I appreciate the support, because without people that have done this before, it would have been scary. So knowing that you're there and there's other people like Jeff and other people in this organization that have reached out to me, I'm really, really appreciative of that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we had Brent, helping out. Dave Canor, president of the company, was on the phone with you. Like we're all doing this together. It's we always like to say at eXp, one team, one dream. So
and even Sheila got on the phone with me too. That was
Sheila Fairbairn. Yep.
Yeah. Great people, and even people in different downlines of kind of like people that are like, hey, I'm in this organization, but I want to help you out, and we're all one group and family. And Derek, you're going to help the stock value because you're going to bring so many people into this group. So people see the win-win. It doesn't matter who said, oh, this is my guy and that guy. People are just reaching out to me from all different directions, which I really appreciate that.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to do this. It was great chatting, and we will talk later. See ya.
All right, thanks, man.